Howdy y'all, this is Sam the Dingus. This might be some of the last videos you ever see of the Accord, which is major depresso espresso. But that's okay, life moves on. We can check out a newbie. That's the one. It ain't quite the same as home, but it'll do. So I just wanted to go back in time here, continue some more stories. And this was of the most interesting employment I ever had in my life. So this is 2021. What happened in 2021, well, the end of 2020, is I quit my Walmart job and I went down to Winchester, Virginia, where I lived for like 3 months out of my car. And then eventually I was at somewhere else, but I was down staying at Street Beefs. This is during my fighting era of my life. So I just, instead of like going back and forth to Virginia every single time I want to fight, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to stay down there for a bunch of time and like just train nonstop and then have my fights every month. And it was actually one of the best trips of my life, best things I ever did. But when that was over, in like March of 2021, that's when this begins. I came back home, it's my 21st birthday, and I guess my parents are at this point planning on moving out, but that's actually not that important for this story. What is important is that Walmart is the only thing I knew how to do at this point. So it's where I wanted to go back to, I guess, but Walmart has a 6-month termination policy where you can't come back for 6 months after you leave. I don't know why, but that's what I was working with. I had to kill some time over the summer waiting until Walmart would let me back. So that's when my pal Donnie comes in the picture. I think this is his first time being mentioned in these stories, so what's up, Donnie? Donnie told me he was working at a place called Roy's Pools. Roy's Pools. And he said that they're still looking for people, so if I show up sometime in the morning, I'll probably get the job. So that's more or less what happened. I showed up at Roy's Pools. I met Roy himself. And he let me on board. And I don't know anything about pools or fixing anything, computer, car, engine, fucking nothing at all. I'm pretty much a dud. Just a raw monkey. I don't know about these machines. But Mr. Roy was very helpful. Me and him went solo for a couple of adventures at first, just so he could like talk to me and stuff. And everything he was saying was cool and good. Like he was showing me things. He was saying there's gonna be like pool school where they show us shit and like we all get to learn cool stuff and contribute, and that's great. He's showing me like how some shit works, what some problems might be with this one particular motor. But for most of the part, I'm just like nodding along because like I want to be helpful obviously, but I don't know I don't know how to do anything. So I'm basically there waiting for them to say, Sam, help me with this. And that was the beginning of our problems here, and it gets so much worse. Cool thing is, Mr. Roy opened this store like in the same building next door. Was an ice cream store. So every time I would finish up at Roy's Pools for the day, I would just hop over there and get a free spoon of ice cream. Now, I don't really know where to start with this because everything very quickly devolves into chaos, but there are like a few story moments, but it's mostly just like kind of a discussion of all the shit that was wrong with Roy's Pools. So first things first, this is like a small town kind of company, so it's not like huge or anything. So there's like 3 execs. There's no executives really, but we got Mr. Roy himself, somebody else. I don't really know if he's related to him, but yeah, this guy was cool. And then some other dude who was just helping out with stuff too. Everyone else is just like lesser employees who just do the manual stuff. So to get right to it, pool school never happened. And although I was there when I was being shown things, like I was never really taught anything, you know? There's never any like, this is how you tell this, and if this, then this, you know? It's just like looking at shit and like, I'm just like watching you do stuff. Like I'm watching closely right next to you, but there's nothing for me to do when you're diagnosing pool problems and you don't know what a fucking pool is. Now there are some very memorable moments from the first days, which are good memories, which I want to share. My dude, Mr. Roy, definitely let me hit the cart in the car with him, and he bought me some beers too, I think, on my first day as like an onboarding welcome type shit. And fuck with that, sir. Small town heroes. And something he said to me so much on the first day was, you know, people always say the grass is greener on the other side, but sometimes it isn't. And that's just like an interesting thing to hear, like nice, a different phrase. That's a different take on the normal phrase. Okay, but we go to this pool later that day, and without prompting it, the customer says the exact same thing. He's like, yeah, man, you know, they say the grass is greener, but it ain't always. And I was like, yo, you're actually a genius, Mr. Roy. Little side break here. Most of the time I spent at Roy's pools, it was actually just with this one dude doing like side projects. Like there's a group of like, I don't know, 6 employees maybe at most, like Canterbury gang shit. Where you at, boys? So yes, I went with this other guy. I don't know if he's a cousin or a brother or something like that, but me and him were always just like cruising around, diagnosing things, going to the other stores. And honestly, a lot of times we were just cruising, like listening to music and talking and just like totally chilling. Like, we did not do shit together, but we had fun and we both got paid, so it was dope. I remember this one moment where we were at this house to do a liner for the pool, which is like, if you didn't know, pools are mostly like bumpy concrete until you put down that like thick nylon polyester type thing, like that really vinyl-y stuff, soft and good. So we had to get a whole team of us to put this vinyl on. So when we had a team of like 8 of us all working on the same project, it was such good vibes. I was like, yeah, dude, we're gonna do this. Like, I'm part of a business. Like, we're gonna succeed together. Well, that was the only time we ever did anything together. And everything from here pretty much got worse. First things first, Mr. Roy is not afraid at all of bees. I would watch him just like, boom, smack him with his hat. Like, damn, dude, you got balls of steel. And I guess that's how you gotta treat animals and insects, you know? You just deal with them quick, because if you're like, that's when you get got. So no hesitation, no fear. So I got into a fight, sort of, not a real fight, but like an altercation with one of these execs. But he was just being a fucking pussy, honestly. Like, where should I start? Should I just say it first, or should I say the bit? So like, we're just like bantering, okay? Like, me and Mr. Roy are here together, and this other dude is on the phone, right? And like, this dude is like talking shit or something, not like seriously, like we're just boys goofing off, like calling each other dumbasses and shit. So I fucking made it like a your mom joke in response to him saying some shit. I would never start with that, you know? And this dude gets all huffy puffy, whiny bitchy on the phone, like, talk about my mama. Fucking annoying as shit, dude. And this is actually what I have come to learn, is that like, your mom jokes are really popular when you're young. So I always assumed it was like safe grounds, but when you become an adult, you gotta watch out for your mom jokes, dude. They take on some whole new depth of violence. Use with discretion. Anyway, I don't really like that guy because of that whole situation. Like, bro, if you gotta, how can you like play? How can you have fun if you can't take your mom joke? Like, I know your mom can take it, but that's beside the point. So like, dude comes up to me next day. He's like, I don't even know. He wasn't like apologizing necessarily, but he was like, just like double checking. Everyone's making sure we're cool and stuff. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Who are you? Some dumbass. Now here's a little divergent story that takes you a little off the Roy's Pools path, but it does start there, so I will never tell the story outside of this one, so I do want to get to it. My pal, Mr. Carbray. I've known 2 Carbrays in my life. There's one who was in my first story video about bullying. Okay, that's one Carbray. But number 2 is the brother. Ginger brother. Very cool dude. He ended up working at Roy's Pools too, and we would always like smoke together and stuff. So this one time, Mr. Roy sent me and dude out to clean a pool together. And it was just like a simple cleaning. It's just like, we go by there every once in a while and clean it for them, but I've never actually seen the customers there. So it's like a really chill zone where we just like fucking net, keep netting shit. Like, we got robots that we can use, but they don't always work good, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, so we finished that little bit up, this one house. It was a job that we actually did together and we were both pretty proud of, you know? I feel like it was the only good thing I did for Roy's Pools in all of my time. Anyway, this is at the point in history where dispensaries are opening up and shit. Delta 8 or whatnot, or even just like real weed stores that aren't advertising it. So this place called Greenleaf Farms, I think, was here in Jewett City. And me and Mr. Carbray here, we parked at the skate park. And we took our boards down to that fake weed store where the dude had real weed. Now I'm hoping me talking about this doesn't ever come back to bite my dude in the ass, but not only did we buy herbs off of this man, we also got like mushroom chocolate bars. Hell yeah. Through this era is when I started getting like good access to mushrooms, and I used to do that shit a lot. But this was just a chill time where me and brother here that I came with, we drank our weed edible drink, and then we went back to the skate park. And we just chilled out there for hours and hours, and like it never really hit us, like we never started tripping or anything. But we were just having a lot of fun out there, honestly. And then this random dude pulls up, like super like pimply, and like no offense obviously, but like this dude was like kind of like spooky. He's like asking me for coffee money or something. So I'm like, okay, I'm like in a fucking city, dirty ass city. This dude's asking for coffee money. Like this just sounds like a heroin scam. Like I'm just gonna watch my stuff very carefully. And then this dude is like, can I borrow your board for a second? I'm like, sure. This dude grabs my board and fucking shreds it like I never will. Up the Ramskis, hitting little Doonaroons. Very nice, sir. I actually still see that guy walking around to this day. So yeah, it's just a random great day offshoot off of the main branches here. While I'm at it, this one thing pissed me off. Well, cause okay, this store that I was talking about, hope they don't get in trouble because I'm talking about this, but like I know that you shouldn't say certain things in case people are listening, you know what I mean? But like I was on the phone with this guy and I was like, am I able to talk freely here and now? He's like, yeah. And I was like, do you got mushrooms still? And he's like, maybe call it something else. And I'm like, I asked you if I could talk freely, you cunt. If I'm not mistaken, that dude gave me a free whippet in that fucking store. Guy, you're a pimp. Okay, back to Roy's Pools times. So we're actually getting to the end of Roy's Pools, where I get you to the fate, the destiny of Roy's Pools and all that it became. Wow, where do I even start with this? So, like I said, there were 3 execs and then a bunch of 6 probably employees. Me and this guy DP, his last name's Pool, by the way. How cool is that? Pool at the pool store. So me and DP ended up having to do some stuff. But we are like the least experienced guys for the jobs. And so when we get sent out to do shit, you know damn well nothing is getting done. And we do try, but what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, I admit openly that I know nothing about this shit. I'm just here to be helpful with my hands and all that crap, but this guy doesn't really know what to do either. So yeah, we can go and drain pools and scoop them out with leaves, but like, I swear to God, this guy, Roy, never fucking told us shit, okay? We had a book, and there's a store, a pool store, so I'm reading up on the chemicals. I know what each chemical is for and what problems they solve, kinda, but this guy sends me and DP out to diagnose a green foamy pool, okay? And me and DP are like the least reassuring people to have at your house. Imagine you call for help, and it's us 2 idiots who show up. And we just look at it, we're just like, okay, I'm gonna start scooping this foamy stuff off, this scum off. We're gonna like add some chemicals here, and we'll see what happens. And like that, it feels so bad. Like, I know what this customer is feeling, and I can't give them any relief because I just know nothing. We're just trying to do what we can do so this company doesn't get like fucked. Yeah. But we didn't know what to do really, so we just did whatever we could and got out of there. And there are many, many instances of this. So before I finish up this story, I want to make sure I include this one other part. Roy's Pools here is like across the street and 50 feet away from a tire shop, a car tire shop. So after shift one time, we're all just chilling here at Roy's Pools. And we see this car go up to the edge of the driveway of the tire shop, okay, right? and they do what's called peeling out. So they just, from zero, like, gas shoot it, and they try to get into lane, and they fucking lose control of the car. So the second they pull out of the tire shop, smash into a guardrail. Not even a bump, like actually smash, dude. You can tell because I'm hitting my hands together. That's how you know. And I was just like all of us are just like drinking our drinks, like. Okay, so let me get down to the last story, the end of my time here at Roy's, followed by the end of Mr. Roy himself. So, like, all of these problems kind of funnel into the same apparatus, the same situation that was created by the creator. So, me and DP are back at home base at like 3 or 4 o'clock. Which is normally kind of when we go home, kind of. But, you know, if there's stuff going on, we stay later. But it's like 4 o'clock, and Mr. Roy's talking to us over the phone. Like, some of the team is here. No execs. And over the phone, he's like, yo, Sam and DP, can you go to this house and put on this pool liner? This is the one where you guys might look at me kind of in a certain way, but, like, imagine if you didn't know how to do a job and they're like, here, take this thousands of dollars of stuff and go set it up. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to do. If you give me this, I cannot promise it's going to go on correctly. You might end up with more problems if I set it up wrong than if we just wait for the right damn time. So I didn't really say anything. I just kind of said no. He wasn't talking to us. It was like his secretary who was telling us stuff. So I just kind of left, and that was that. Mr. Roy messaged me the next day saying, don't think we need you anymore, Sam. Thanks a lot. And yeah, that's fair. It's fair. When you walk out, that's what you get. But it's not really my fault because I never knew what I could have done. There's nothing I could have done better or worse, honestly. So with all that, there are some good and bad times over there. This one hot summer working on pools, Roy's Pools ends up going under for fraud. And my dude Roy himself is either seriously fined or even arrested for jail time because he took money from people for their pools, but by the time it was time to get their pools and build them, he didn't have the money anymore. So now he can't make these pools. They've already been paid for, so it's broken promises and no way out, honestly, because we didn't know what the fuck to do either. He didn't have the right manpower or equipment to do everything right. So Roy's Pools went down under, and so did the ice cream store. But, you know, it was worth it for some of those cool and crazy experiences. There wasn't, like, too much that happened. It was just, you know, money. But, like, it's still some valuable parts of life that I won't forget. It's just, I never felt so helpless and so useless in my whole life before trying to do anything. Like, gosh. Like, imagine if, like, you were, like, an apprentice somewhere, but you weren't treated like an apprentice. Like, you go to a car mechanic to learn shit, and they just, like, leave you with it, and I'm just like, what do I do? Anyway, had some good times at Roy's Pools, hanging out with the homies. So I thought I wanted to share the good and bads with you. Hope you enjoyed this story. Hope you're doing all right, Mr. Roy. You don't deserve all this hate. Maybe, but not really. All right. I'll see you.